Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning back into the Rap Palette for the long awaited, and I say long awaited, album review of Kanye West, Jesus is King. I said it, Jesus is King. Hallelujah. Now, I want to give a disclaimer here. Even though I've been a Rockefeller fan, I've never been a Kanye West fan. I want to put that disclaimer out there. I've admired his music. I've admired his work. I've admired his executive producerness, his fashion sense, and the way he shifted the culture. Kanye West has toyed with gospel music, or to be politically correct, God music. Because whenever you speaking about the Lord and it's coming from your gut, you're speaking God music. Ultralight Beam, Father Stretch My Hand, Jesus Walks was his earlier work, touching the rim of this type of music. So, me and the Rap Palette crew skimmed, combed, dissect Jesus is King. Track by track, minute by minute, hour by hour. And I'm here to tell you, without a shadow of a doubt, this is the best album of the year. I've said it, yep. I know a lot of y'all gonna get mad. A lot of y'all gonna be disagreeing. This is the best album of the year. Sonically, it's on point. The cohesiveness, the way the beats flow. There was a sense of a 70s twist to it. He brought back the sounds of the slaves that sung in the gospel houses, in the shacks of Alabama and Mississippi. I can tell you at one point in time, tears came to my eyes listening to the music. It was very heartfelt. I can feel the pain from the music, and I can see what troubling time he was fighting the demons. People, I recommend everybody to go stream this album. And I know it might seem very hypocritical, and I'm not saying I'm a very godly person. I am a heathen as well. But when I tell you that this album can calm somebody's soul, I mean that from a perspective. And all this is just opinion. You're going to hear a lot of people give their album reviews and their reactions. A lot of people are not going to like this album. But when you hear the truth and you hear music that sounds good, for a change, I don't want to hear somebody talking about clapping or shooting up somebody. From track one to the end, the album is on point. Even with the bringing back of clips and No Malice on it, his verse is treacherous. You know what I mean? Treacherous. The bars were crazy. You know what I mean? Pusher, crazy. The track with Fred Hammond, loved it. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are going to have some misconception about this album. But this album, by far, is the best album I've ever heard for this year. And I was going to come up with a list. You know what I mean? El Capo, Jim Jones, was ranked to number 1. But I'm sorry, Jimmy, you're back at number 2. Jesus is King is number 1. Number 3 is Little TJ. True to myself. This album spoke to me. All I can say is, like, you have to go listen to the album for yourself and be the judge of it. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot for people to understand unless you don't listen to it. But we sat here and skimmed through the album, me and the Rap Palette crew, from track 1 to track 10. Not only that, the album was condensed to 10 songs. It wasn't that much, but this is the point that I tried to get to people. And a lot of, you know what I mean, I didn't like Life of Pablo. I thought Life of Pablo was all over the place. He had a couple good songs. This right here, from track 1 to track 10, the album is flawless. And And a lot of people might say, when I say flawless, I'm talking about sonically. The sounds were all in place. The album was cohesive from track 1 to track 8. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to keep telling you people this. I recommend you to go stream this album, stream this album, stream this album. Up to My Ashes, fire. Follow God, fire. On God, fire. Water, fire. Sunday, fire. LA Monster, fire. New Body, fire. Use This Gospel, fire. Hands On Gospel, fire. The way I feel, I might slap somebody if they say they don't like Jesus is King. I told you, I sat here and cried. And I love trap music. And I hope this can shift the culture to a different perspective, not negating Christian rappers who have been putting in the work. We're not going to forget them. Because this is not typically what you might call a Christian rap or a gospel album. You know, this is Kanye we talking about. This is somebody who has a musical ear. He's musically inclined. So he's going to bring you a score album. This is a score album I could see being played on movies. You know what I mean? A theater album. But this is not what you might call a template or a textbook gospel album or gospel rap. This is a 5-palette album. I rarely ever give these. Rarely ever give these. I'm very biased about music. Very biased about music. But when I know an album speaks to me or it speaks to the culture, this what it is. And this the rap powder in their mouth.